Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about my November TBR. So it's actually November 1st today, and I'm filming in a different location. I don't have any of my filming equipment on me except for my camera, so I'm sorry if it's a bit echoey. I feel like it kind of is, but I don't have my mic or anything, so we're just kind of gonna deal with it. I really wasn't going to do a TBR because I haven't done a TBR in a very long time, or at least a monthly TBR. But I've kind of been working on getting a little bit more organized with my reading so then I can work on balancing reading and editing and writing and video making and all of the things that I need to do with my life. I will tell you 24 hours is not enough time for me to get it all done. But I do have some really fun books that I'm hoping to read this coming month. I'm planning on getting to mostly the 2019 releases that I haven't gotten the chance to get to yet. There are so many that I'm definitely not going to get to all of them, but there are a few that I would like to prioritize and really try to get to this month in preparation for Bookmas 2019, which is upon us very quickly. Yikes. But that is besides the point. Let's just get into the books that I'm hoping to read. So the first book is actually the one that I'm currently listening to the audiobook for, and that is Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba. This is my second time trying to read this. I started it last Halloween, but I started it way too close to Halloween, and then Halloween was over, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna listen to it anymore. So then I put it down. But this year, even though I did start it on Halloween, which was yesterday, and I obviously didn't finish it, I plan on continuing with it. So I have been listening to it today, and it is such a long audiobook. Like, I've been listening to it nonstop, and I'm pretty sure I'm only like 8 hours into it, if even, probably closer to 7, but it's a 20-hour audiobook and I'm listening to it at twice the speed. So I'm almost at the halfway mark, not quite. And I'm sorry if I keep touching my hair. I got it done yesterday and she did like a blowout, and it's very movable, so I can't stop touching it. But anyways, I decided that I'm going to continue reading this even though Halloween is over, and this is like the perfect series for Halloween because one, I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun to be back in the diviner's world, and Libba just writes these incredible stories. They're so good. I love the 1920s vibe. I feel like it's the best story that I've read that's set in the 20s. Like, it really takes me there. I feel like I'm at a speakeasy and I'm a flapper, and like, I just absolutely adore it. And they're so creepy and scary, and it's a lot for me. This is like my scare limit. I can't handle anything more than this series. But the final book, King of Crows, is coming out early 2020. I think maybe in January. I'm not 100% sure though, but I figured that I might as well continue with this one and finish it so then I can read the next book when it does come out, and I'm very excited for it. This is one of my favorite series of all time, and I'm having a lot of fun listening to this. So speaking of series that I really love, there is a book that isn't out yet, but I got my pre-order early, so I'm planning on reading that in November, and that is Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I almost completely forgot the title of this, but this is the first book in a new series. I think it's called the Dreamers Trilogy, but it focuses on Ronan, who is one of my favorite characters from the Raven Cycle Quartet, which is so good. Love that. If you haven't read it yet, definitely do. It's perfect for fall time too, so now is the time. This cover, it exists. I don't really like it. Like, I definitely prefer the main series covers more, and I don't even really love those ones, but this one was a choice. Not a big fan of it. It does at least match though, I will say that. But I'm so excited to have a new Maggie Stiefvater book to read. I was going to read, was it All the Crooked Saints? I don't remember what it was called, but she had that magical realism come out not too long ago, and it just never really piqued my interest, so I didn't end up reading that one. But being back with the Raven Boys and that whole universe, I'm so ready for it. So this is definitely one that is high on my priority list. It comes out November 5th, so it will be out very soon. I just happened to get my copy early. I know some bookstores have them out early, so check if you are looking to read it. Next is, of course, Ninth House by Leigh So I got my copy kind of late, and I just didn't get the chance to pick it up, and I was kind of hoping to read it for Halloween, but that didn't end up happening because I had so many books I wanted to read for Halloween, so obviously I couldn't read them all. But Leigh is one of my favorite authors of all time, and this is kind of, I don't want to say out of character for her, but it's new because it is an adult novel, and actually Stephen King recommended it, which I think is amazing for her, but it also kind of scares me because like he writes like horror and like I'm not really into that, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but I do know that I am going to read it because I love Lee so much. She's such a sweet person, and she's also just an incredible writer, so I'm eager to read it, but I'm also really scared about it because I just don't know if it's going to be something that I will enjoy, but I'm gonna give it a go and hopefully I will like it. Book Snake, you know, living its best life once again. This was one of the first covers that had Book Snake, actually. I wonder what animal we'll have on books next year. Maybe it'll be like Book Cat? Book Honey Badger? I don't know, but I'm eager to see. Next is another sequel and another book that's coming out November 5th actually, and that is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. This is an ARC and I've had it for a while and I just never got the chance to read it, which is so sad. I actually ended up with 2 copies because they sent me one in the mail yesterday or something like that. So I have a lot of copies of this book, but I'm actually now going to wait for the audiobook because I listened to Thunderhead on audiobook and really enjoyed it. This is the final book, the conclusion to the Scythe trilogy, and I love this trilogy. It's so cool, very inventive. Neil Shusterman does a really good job of writing stories that make you think, but like they're in a setting that like it's not realistic, but you're also like, this could absolutely happen, and it just freaks you right out, and I kind of love that. And Thunderhead left on such a cliffhanger that I definitely need to see what is going to happen because I have absolutely no clue. So when this comes out, I will definitely be listening to it almost immediately, as long as I'm done with Before the Devil Breaks You, which is questionable because that book is a brick. Before I forget, I am kind of hoping to, but it's also really low on my priority list, but I would like to continue with my Harry Potter reread, which would mean that I am moving on to Order of the Phoenix this month, and this is the 5th book. In case you didn't know, you probably did, but just in case you didn't, no judgment. I read Goblet of Fire about a month ago, and I read the first 4 pretty close together, and then I took a break. I don't remember why. Why did I take a break? Oh, because of edits. You know that book that I wrote that I'm working on right now? Yeah, that. Wow. But now I would like to get back to it, but it's also not the highest on my priorities right now because I want to try and prioritize 2019 releases and stuff that I can talk about for Bookmas and all of that, because really my reading year is from December to November, if that makes sense. Like, this is the last month of my reading year because then I pre-film all my Bookmas videos, and anything that I read in December, I just count toward the next year. I feel like that was confusing for everyone, but it makes sense to me. But my point is, I do want to really finish my reread. I don't want to have to start all over again. So if I don't get to this month, then December is probably when I will be continuing. Next is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I'm getting back on my adult romance bullshit. I haven't read an adult romance in quite a while. It has been way too long. I actually have one that I have to read for a book club that I'm doing with my friends. I have to read it next week. I don't know where it is, but it's just like a kind of funny one that we're planning on laughing at. But the 2 that I have on my TBR for this month are ones that I'm actually like really looking forward to. So The Simple Wild, I know, is a bit more emotionally intense, I believe. I've heard some really great things. When I said that I like adult romances that have that romance element, obviously, but then also have kind of an emotional impact to them, this one was recommended to me a lot, so I picked up a bunch of stuff by this author, and this is the one that was recommended to me the most, so I plan on starting out with this one and then probably moving on to her newest one because I think that one, the synopsis seems the most appealing to me, but I'm very excited to get back into adult romances. I'm not gonna lie. I took a break for like mysteries and stuff for Halloween, so it's gonna be great to get back to it. So speaking of, next is Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I'm probably going to start this maybe today or tomorrow. I'm so excited for it. This is their newest release and I don't even know what it's about. I didn't need to know. I just got an email from their publicist that was like, do you want this? And I was like, absolutely yes. So thank you so much to them for sending this to me. I'm so excited to have it, but I had actually pre-ordered it already, so it was on my radar, but I truly did not read the synopsis. I just know that I love these authors. They are some of my favorite adult romance authors. They're the ones that introduced me to it, so I'm like, you have a new book? Say no more, I'm gonna read it. Next is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is one that I don't really know a lot about either, honestly. I know I've heard some great things about it and it's kind of been on my radar because of that, but I believe it's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, so that sounds amazing. I've read one of those before and I really loved it, so hopefully I'll enjoy this one as well. Next is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is one where I remember seeing this last year when I was planning for Bookmas, and I was doing the video where I talk about new releases for the next year that I'm really excited for, and when I was doing research for it, I saw this book and it was pitched as Mulan meets Project Runway, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this now. So I was so excited for it, and then when I finally got my hands on it, I just never read it, which is crazy, like that's ridiculous. So if I can get to this before the end of the year, that would be great. Golden, because it just sounds like such a cool concept. She is in this like competition for dressmaking and she has to make dresses out of, I believe it's like magical materials. I don't entirely remember. I was just like, Project Runway meets Mulan, yes please. So the final couple of books that I'm hoping to read in November I actually don't have on me, but the next one is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. Renee Ahdieh has written a couple of series and the one I really liked, the other one not so much, but the one that I really liked was The Wrath and the Dawn, and The Beautiful is about vampires and in New Orleans. I think it's New Orleans. I think I said it wrong. I don't know, I'm sorry. I tried my best, okay? But this story seems so cool. I think it's like kind of getting back to vampires as you knew them a little bit, the sort of like sexy vampire, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could do with some of that in my life. And the final book that I'm hoping to read is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. I have heard nothing but great things about this book and I just never got the chance to read the arc that I had. There's a common theme. It really makes me sad. I'm sorry. But this follows the main character, Frank, who is caught in limbo between his parents' expectations of him and what he actually wants to do with his life. And in particular, he struggles because his parents want him to date a Korean girl, but he has fallen for a girl who is not Korean, so then he ends up fake dating this girl who is Korean and is in a similar situation to him, and I just feel like there's so many things that are gonna happen and I'm so ready for it. So that is all for my November TBR. I know this was kind of like a quick, weird little video. I'm kind of hoping to get back into doing TBR videos again though. I think they're really fun and it kind of helps me to visualize what I need to read for the next little bit and keep me a little bit more organized, or else I'm a little bit all over the place. So if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to click that subscribe button and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I post new videos every week and I am going to be getting back to reading vlogs. I have reading vlogs planned for all of November, so at least for all of November I will be doing reading vlogs, so stay tuned for that. But you can also follow me on all of my social media. I'm constantly updating you guys with stuff there, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye!